Hello and welcome parents. My name is Ms. Holbrook. I will be your son or daughter's geometry teacher this year, and welcome to the remote learning to begin our school year 2020. I'm going to take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about myself, tell you about the class that your son or daughter will be attending for at least the first semester. So welcome. A little bit about myself. I am a product of the Rochester Community Schools. I started out at Hamlin Elementary and McGregor, and then I did end up going on to Ruther and finally graduated at Rochester High School. And you can see here's a couple of my pictures, snapshots of things that I have sitting around the house, and yep, there's my age right there. After Rochester High School, I did go on to Michigan State University, where I did earn a degree in mathematics and a minor in science. All right, and then next, a little bit about my children. Oh, yes, I'm honored to give back to the Rochester Community Schools as an educator. They built the foundation for who I am today, and it is, again, an honor to be back here. All right, back to my children. I am a proud mother of two wonderful boys. I have one child that is still in the district here. He is a junior at Adams High School, and my oldest is now a junior at the University of Michigan. A little bit about geometry. Let's start with what geometry is a study of. It is the study of the physical and the visual world around us. We're going to be looking at the world around us, and we're going to be able to use our imagination and to apply many of these geometry concepts into the world in which we see. And along the way, we're going to be using a lot of those algebra skills that students learned when they were in Algebra 1. We want to remember that math is not meant to be learned in isolation. So anything that they did learn back in the past, we really want them to remember those skills and to apply them to each step along the way. And as we're working through our geometry, we're going to help them be prepared for likewise Algebra 2. Some of the things we're going to be learning about are coordinates, geometry figures in the coordinate plane. We're going to be doing a lot with that. A lot of it is a continuation of that algebra. We're going to be looking at transformations of figures within the coordinate plane. Also area and volume, and that's going to be something that we're going to be continually circling back to. Three-dimensional figures, that's more along the very end of the school year. We're going to end the year on your surface area and the volume of three-dimensional figures. Students will also study congruent polygons, similar polygons, right triangles, which is going to lead us into trigonometry, and that is my absolute favorite unit. I'm pretty much jumping over that when I get to that section. And then parents, the infamous proofs that you probably all still have that mirrors out. Hopefully that doesn't go off on your kids, but I'm going to help them be comfortable so that we take it slow, and they won't have those negative feelings that many of us think about when we think of geometry. We're going to find really wonderful things with proofs this year. How can we help our be successful in the remote learning, or even as we get into the normal school setting working class? One thing that I really want to stress is that they stay in tune with their Google Classroom daily. I'm going to be giving many announcements there. That's where they're going to find all their videos, all of their notes to print out, and all of their homework assignments. All right, and they should be familiar with that from the last spring, in which they were getting a little bit of experience working with many of their teachers through that Google Classroom. Pay attention to the due dates especially, and that's one thing that I really need to keep stressing to them is rather than them telling or asking me, when is it due? Well, it's always posted on that assignment, and they will get reminders. As long as they keep those push notifications on their Google Classroom, it will keep announcing to them that something is due. It helps if you can get them a planner, because there's going to be so many teachers, all 6 of them having different due dates, and it's important that they stay organized. It can get very overwhelming if they don't have that daily contact with their teacher in person. So it is important that they do start to find some means or some way to get organized. It's important that they have a computer for all Zoom sessions. All the teachers will be using Zoom for activities, and many of these are interactive activities that they do need the functions of a computer in order to participate. So if you don't have a computer, it's really important that they, during their class period, especially in my class period, they do have one. Okay, take notes also from pre-recorded videos, and they are to prepare for those in-class upcoming discussions and activities. I will always post the notes and the videos a few days prior, so students will have access to them. Be prepared, take them in advance. All right, so they're not to be assigned and taken next week. They need to be watched immediately or very soon after their release, because they were requiring that they have those done before they come into class so they can be active participants and be able to understand what we're talking about. So that's very important that they get prepared in advance. And then also complete all their homework. It is helpful if they collaborate with their peers. And I would suggest to have them form a network of friends that if they miss class, what exactly do we do if they can't get a hold of me right away? Or reach out to a group of people, ask 2 to 3 people before you reach out to me. Having 100 and almost 70 students makes it very challenging to be able to address the questions in a timely manner. If they can just kind of have that access to their peers, it's going to really cut down on those questions. And if they can't get those answered, we do have support hours between 2 and 3 each day of the week that we can dig a little deeper with individual students. Their textbook is the Big Ideas Math. They should have received that on that long line. I'm sure it was very difficult to get, but I hope everyone did get it. It's called Big Ideas Mathematics. I will show you. Here's a copy of it right here. I don't know if you can see it, Big Ideas Math. So this is what they should have. We don't always work out of this. Sometimes I give worksheets. Sometimes I give the online textbook, which is actually the same thing as that physical textbook. The online access to the homework assignments that I'm going to be giving is not available yet, but it's coming soon. They can have access to much of the activities in the meantime, but I will give them further information as the time comes when it does become available to us. All right, and there's some great problems that we're going to be doing. The assignments that I give online if we're in the remote setting, because I'm only going to use this during the remote setting time. But when we are in this setting, the wonderful thing about this is they can get instant feedback on their homework. If they get it wrong, they know it's wrong immediately because it doesn't want them to progress further until they have done that problem correctly. I give them 4 chances, and then there's a help button that will help them through it. It allows them to, again, use those critical thinking skills and to be better analysis of their own problems that they're doing. Okay, so over here, you can see a little bit of fun in math sometimes, hopefully a lot of times. But over here, this is what I did last spring. I did with my students, which is almost like a game show. And I have 5 different guest presenters that were the host of the show. I like to have a lot of fun. The kids did a lot of laughing. I had goofy. It really made it fun and kept us going and kept them looking forward to what she gonna do next. All right, so I have a couple other little tricks up my sleeve that I'm going to be introducing, a couple new guest presenters, but I promised my students from last spring that they might just see a few of these coming in the halls next year, so those might be back. So please encourage them to take part in those fun activities that we're going to be doing. Everything is going to be going through Zoom, as you can see, similar to what we're going to be doing in really all of remotes and what we've done in the past. Some teachers did use different types of platforms. I think it was Google Meet, but I will be doing Zoom. We're going to have breakout rooms and small group discussions and peer teaching and lots of collaborating. Marking period grade, 20% homework, 80% tests and quizzes. Marking period, 40, 40, 20. That 20% we're not quite sure about final exams yet. That is going to be determined. Resources, already talked about the textbook. There are some apps that your son or daughter can get on their telephones or their phone or mobile devices, and that will allow them to be able to access just practice problems, answers to the bookwork for the odd problems. So they have that right at their fingertips. All right, so if you have any questions or if you ever need to reach me, please feel free to reach out to me at my email at lholbrook@rochester.k12. And if you could, or you could get in to Synergy, you can look at that parent view and there should be a link right there for you to access. My syllabus is also there if you would like to look at it, or you can pull it up on your son or daughter's Google Classroom. You'll find it there likewise, where I have all the information that they need on there, lots of resources and all of their homework and notes and everything else that they need. But I thank you for taking the time to, if you made it to the end of this, you have a wonderful year, and I encourage you to ask your son and daughter lots of questions, what they're doing in class, what they like about it, and just find ways that you can help them be successful, and together we can work as a team to make this a great year. But I'm here for them. I'm here for you. If you need me, just feel free to email me and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But we're going to have a great year and we're going to make the best of everything. Gotta stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you very soon in person. God bless.